Wonderful, wonderful. Put your hands together one more time. Candida Rose. I love the songs that you write yourself. Seems to be the most powerful because they come from an experience. She shared with us the experience where that song came from. And so it has more meaning. And that's what I'm hoping that we are about here in creating community, is that we share the experience of our awakening, that we share the experience of being the light in the world, that we share everything that we're growing through. You know, it's different to say I'm going through something to I'm growing through something, because everything is a learning and a growing and a movement forward and an expansion of who we are, an expansion of the light that is within us. There's a wonderful adage that I've heard a lot over the last couple of years, and that is, when the world around you seems to be dark, when the screen seems to be dark, maybe that's because you were sent there to be the light. A lot of people, go through grow through a lot of things. And as we grow, perhaps we find ourselves in places that we don't understand, that seem dark, that seem confusing. Why is the world the way it is? Why is there so much violence? Why is there still war and racism and division and judgment? Why are people living out of fear and separation? And that is not understandable when you know that there is so much love available, that there's so much light and power and possibility in you, that you've been living this way as well. So perhaps you're seeing these things because you were given a purpose to be the light in this situation, to stand up and be a whole lot more than you ever thought you could be. Because in unity, we know and we teach that light is in you. It's our second principle, that everyone has the spark of divinity. Everyone is a Christ or a Buddha in potential. And we can actualize it by using the power of our minds and affirming the truth and living in the truth, living from the light. In unity, we're often reminded that we are the light of the world. But there are times when I forget. Do you forget sometimes? I forget sometimes. There are times when we let our light begin to dim a little bit. We let worldly concerns take over, and we allow ourselves to identify this feeling in us as fear rather than energy that's propelling us forward in our growth. So we attach a story to it now. This is happening, that's happening, I'm afraid this is going to happen, and I'm going through this, and I'm going through that. And we forget all about we're actually growing. The universe isn't doing anything to you. The world's not doing anything to you. Do you see? You're in a process of growth, spiritual growth, evolution of spirit. So everything, and we always pray this way, is designed to bring about your highest good. The universe actually cares for you. You're actually loved beyond belief. This universal consciousness that we call God is what? We went over this last week. Love and only love. That's how we identify God, as love and only love. It cannot contain anything else. So if your life seems challenging right now, what's the answer? Let your light shine. If you see someone in need of help, what's the answer? Let your light shine, right? If the world seems dark and full of despair, let your light shine. Now more than ever, we need you to let your light shine. I need you to let that light shine because you are a unique expression of God. And I need every expression of God to be available in my life. I want you to be the God self that you are. What does John say? The greatest expression of your loving self. Wow, your loving self. I want the greatest expression of that in the world. If it doesn't match up to my loving self, if it's not loving, I don't want it. I can do the work inside to make the choice to not act from fear and anger and judgment or hatred. I don't have to act that way, and you don't have to act that way either. And if people are acting that way, what is it? Time to let your light shine. That's all there is to it. Now, in the Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore, he says, the inner light is... Oh, I must have pushed it again. The inner light is the illumination of spirit, resident at the center of every person's being. So whenever I need a little help in defining things metaphysically, I use this little book, The Revealing Word. It's like the Reader's Digest version of a much bigger book. It's huge, called the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. So let your preacher read that one, and you can read this one. You don't have to get the big metaphysical Bible. Plus, it's heavy to carry around. Anyway, this is true for every being. That light actually comes from you. It's not coming from outside. And it's the illumination of the Spirit within you. The second principle is that you have the divine spark, the Christ light, but we have to realize that it's up to us to let it shine. Jesus said the same thing. Yeshua, he said, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill, if you're letting your light shine, you can't hide it. That's going to vibrate from you. You don't have to say a word. When you walk into the room, people are going to know you're there. And you gravitate to that energy. I can feel, when Lily walks into a room, I don't even have to see her. I know she's there. She may be small in stature, but she is big in light energy. Isn't she? Her light shines. And you feel that. And I feel you guys who are vibrating in the Spirit, who are extending your light. James Kirshner is one of the most humble, quiet people I know, but I feel his light. When I see him, I light up. Why? Because he's a mirror for my inner light. And that's really what it's all about, being a Christ being here on earth, is being a mirror for the Christ in you. Being a mirror for the perfection in you. The unique expression of God that you've come to share with the world. So he goes on to say here that you don't take your light and put it under a basket. You stick it on a lampstand so everybody can share in your light, so everybody can see. Now, metaphysically, the basket that I'm speaking of is a container. A basket, it holds things, right? So the basket that I'm speaking of is the container of your mind. It's holding your thoughts. All these thoughts that are covering over your light. All of these thoughts. Think about how you view yourself, how you view the world, how you view people. That story that you're telling is covering up your light. If it's not seeing God in everything, if you don't... I like Yogi Bhajan's definition. He says, you will see light in all, or you will see God in all, or you won't see God at all. So this is the wonderful opportunity that we have to see God in everything. I see God in everything because God is in my mind. I've cleared the basket. I've taken the light out and put it up on a lampstand. I put it here, out, for everyone to see. So to clear your thoughts is really important. That basket of thoughts that you have. The container is your mind, and the thoughts should be thoughts of God if you want to see God in everything. The next thing that Jesus said is, let your light shine before everyone, men and women, so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So we need to metaphysically interpret this a little bit, because we've interpreted it in a very strange way. That there's this being called Father. So it all of a sudden becomes male. And is in heaven a place where heaven is consciousness. Heaven is the realm. We went over this last week too. I'm glad I'm going sequentially here. It really helps me to follow myself. Your higher consciousness is heaven. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom of heaven, he spoke of your higher consciousness. So when you're letting your light shine, you're letting everyone see your higher consciousness. You're revealing yourself as a light being to everyone. This is really important because we've always seen ourselves as this little thing, this temporary being that lives in the body. And we have no idea, we pretend, what happened before and after the body existed. Oh, I don't know. So we abdicate responsibility for what we're doing here and now. But if we are spirit, if we are to be the expression of that which created us, love and only love, then we have to take responsibility for our minds, for what we're thinking and what we're expressing in the world. Don't you agree? Isn't it important and fun to take control of yourself, of what you're experiencing? Isn't that fun? No, it just happened to me. I didn't create any of it. I just got bad luck. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. This is why I hear these things all the time. It's a movie title. What was that? Okay. It's a blues song as well. It's a lyric from a blues song. If it weren't for bad luck, I've had no luck at all. What a perspective that is. And yet many of us adopt that perspective. Now, letting your inner light shine requires a certain amount of surrender. Allowing Spirit to guide you and to work through you. Allowing Spirit to guide your life. Show me the way. Show me your way. Show me the way of the Spirit. But in order to connect with that Spirit, you have to go within, not without. When you go within, then you find the Spirit. Then you find the guidance. Then you find the place of perfect divine love. We always say, in divine timing, perfect timing, divine order, and with grace and ease. When you got those four things happening, you know it's from Spirit. And you know, and you flow. You can flow with the Spirit now. And you can grow through anything when you're in divine order, perfect timing, grace and ease. That's tattooed on my brain. I want it to be tattooed on yours as well. Perfect timing, divine order, grace and ease. It's always perfect in the universe. In the real world, everything is absolutely perfect. It's connected all in perfection. It's unfolding perfectly. Nothing could ever go wrong because it's all expanding and growing and evolving, right? So we are evolving in the light. And when we show the light, that is our good works. I'll get into this a little more. What I want to say here is that we are a reflection of God in the world. And the world is a reflection of our mind. Neil Goddard, he's one of the greatest contemporary. He's not in his body any longer, but one of the great New Thought authors of our time. And he said, the world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. Course in Miracles. It's an outward picture of an inward condition. That's all of New Thought teaching right there. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. The universe you see, the world you see, is what's going on within you. Whoa, I don't like that because now I got to be responsible. And I got to watch my thoughts and my words and my actions and my feelings and my beliefs. But to me, that's so exciting. Because as I allow Spirit to purify my thoughts and my actions and my feelings and my beliefs, wow, the world I live in is amazing, way beyond anything I could have ever imagined. So the world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you're doing within yourself. So what am I doing within myself? When I'm communing with the divine, what do you think my world looks like? What do you think your world is going to look like when you're communing with the divine? When the divine energy and presence is happening within you?
Damn good.
Damn good, he says. That's what my world looks like. It looks, oh man, like I couldn't imagine such an amazing life. If I've surrendered control of my life to the Christ within, what kind of life will I have? And when we join together on a regular basis, consistent basis, what kind of community are we creating? See, I'm always putting out the necessity for joining together and creating spiritual community. Because when we create more communities based on love rather than fear, what kind of world are we going to live in? We create more communities based on love rather than fear. What kind of world are we creating then? See, it's all an extension of you. It's all an extension of your love. It's exciting. How much can you love? That's the question. How much can you give? To yourself first, of course, to yourself first. How much can you care for yourself? Then how much can you care for others? Then how much can you together care for this world? How much love can you give? It's all an extension of you, of your light. Let your light shine. You really are the light of the world. The only catch is it starts out as pure potential. You're the one who has to activate it. It's up to you to action it in the world. Okay, so some action steps. Here we go. As we create more and more communities based on love rather than fear, what kind of world will we live in? I just want you to think about that. Feel that world. Imagine that world. What kind of world will we live in when we're creating out of love? Okay, now how do we do it? How does it happen? Well, the first step is going to start with you. It's purification. Purification of your mind. Cleaning out the basket, the container. Clearing your mind. Clearing up your energy field. And that will always lead you to also cleaning up your body. Healing your body. Living in a healed, whole, perfect vessel for the light. But the first thing is your mind. Getting in touch with what's true and letting everything else be discarded. You have to actively do it, Otherwise, it's just there underneath in your subconscious, and it comes back when you least expect it. So you have to clean up your mind. Purification is the first step. And part of purification, guys, I know you've all gone through some of this, is forgiveness. Anybody? No, I don't have to forgive. Forgiveness. Forgiveness of the past. And heal whatever past hurts that you have. Whatever it takes. Whatever kind of healer you want to use. Sometimes people come to me as a healer. I do pastoral counseling with them. And guess what? We're healing the past, and all of a sudden their cancer disappears. This is a true story. I'm not just talking. We're healing the past. We're clearing out the mind and the energy field. And guess what? The energy field releases the necessity to have cancer or some other disease. Because it's purification that's happening. You're making yourself accessible now to spirit and the healing powers of Spirit. So the second part is, once you're in this wonderful energy, is listen to the voice for God within you. Like, remain guided. Be always teachable. Be always like a new person. Be always receptive. And listen to the Spirit. The Spirit is guiding you always, but we're not listening. We think, well, I got my body healthy, I'm doing good, I got my finances in order, my relationship's looking pretty good, I can go and do whatever I want. And a couple months later, you're back in pastoral counseling. Listen to the Spirit and allow it to be your counselor. You know, Jesus called the Holy Spirit the great counselor, the comforter. You know this because you've been in the church. Where they were teaching the Bible every day. But it's true. The Spirit within you, the Holy Spirit within you, is your counselor. If you listen to that, it will always be there for you. It will always guide you. With what? Grace and ease. Divine order. Perfect timing. The highest good for you and everyone in your life. And number 3, follow through on that guidance. How many times have you gotten an amazing idea, amazing revelation, and you say, wow, I'm going to action this in my life, and 3 weeks later you forgot all about it? I usually write it down, and then I'll find it in a notebook, and I say, wow, that was incredible. And I've got notebooks stacked up like this. Now, a lot of you are laughing because you've done the same thing. You wrote it down in your journal, and 5 years later. Follow through on that guidance from Spirit. Here, I want to start to develop together a community that helps one another follow through on their spiritual guidance. That helps one another grow through the painful edges in your life. Smooth out those rough roads so that you can walk in the light. So, quite simply, if you're following through, taking your inspiration from Spirit, everything that's coming from within now, you're going to follow the wisdom of your heart. You are going to take direction from the Christ self within you. That's where you're going to get your cues for living now. You won't react so easily. You won't be triggered so easily by past hurts. You'll act from love because you're following the guidance of the Christ within you. That takes a little meditation. That takes a little prayer. That takes a little contemplation. It might take a little study of spiritual paths, spiritual teachings. It might take a little time, but that's okay. Give yourself that time. Give yourself that gift. I'm asking, please give yourself the gift of tuning into Spirit, following the guidance of Spirit. And remember the 4 things, that indicators that will tell you it's from Spirit. It's divine order, perfect timing, divine order, grace and ease. It's easy, it's graceful, it flows. When that's happening, woohoo! It's from Spirit. and you just go for the ride. And that is a lot of fun. So, all I would ask now is that you do a little good every day. This is an action that we all can take. A friend of mine was hurting, and I want us to pray for him in a little bit. Alan Ginsberg had a shoulder operation, and they put him on drugs, and his body doesn't like those drugs at all. And he's, very uncomfortable. But the first thing that Spirit inspired me to do was to go over and do a little Reiki. Yay! A little energy healing. That healed your shoulder too, didn't it? And these are just Little things we can do every day. When you put some food in the box in the foyer for the veterans. I came from my vacation. That box was empty, and it was 2 weeks into the month. So I'm saying every little thing that you do, every little good thing that you do each day is going to fill your heart, fill your soul. You're doing it for you. We love to support the Council of Churches, which do so much good in this community. We love to support the Baby Center. We love to support that Dream one. What is it called? Fostering a Dream, where we give extra money to foster children, families of foster children, so they can buy them sports equipment, dance lessons, things that they can't normally afford. Little things, these little wonderful good deeds, they add up. Touch somebody's life, sing them that song, send them that gift, send them the card, give them that extra money that they need. Whatever it might be, just changing your tone of voice, the way you speak with someone, acknowledging someone in a room when they haven't been acknowledged, paying attention to the people around you and doing good every day. This is going to solidify all of your spiritual practice. And it is about shining your light. It all adds up, my friends. Your light begins to grow and grow and grow and grow. So just do it. Just do it. Just be kind, no matter what. Love one another. Heal the sick. Awaken those that are still asleep. Take some small action every day. And the big actions will be easy to achieve because you'll have a lot of practice. Take some small actions first. And remember that you have Spirit within you on your side, no matter what. You cannot fail because the light is in you. Is the light in you? The light is in you? All right then, let's let it shine. Amen. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.